You're sitting in a chair, watching the world go by outside the window, when suddenly you notice something odd. Your feet feel weaker when you walk. Your hands tremble slightly as you hold a coffee mug. These are just little signs of aging, you tell yourself. But what if I told you that these seemingly minor signals could be powerful predictors of how much time you've got left to live? Yup, you heard that right. The science behind aging has revealed that certain clues in our bodies, some obvious, others almost invisible, can give us a clear idea about our life expectancy after 70. And this isn't a guess. These are proven facts. Let me introduce you to Henry, a 72-year-old guy living in a small Texas town. Henry was always active. He walked every day, tended his garden, and even helped neighbors with home repairs. But little by little, he started noticing subtle changes in his body. "My steps are shorter," he'd think as he climbed the stairs slowly. "My legs feel tired before I even start walking." These small signs began to bug him, but he figured they were normal for someone his age. That is, until one day at a routine doctor's visit, his doctor dropped a bombshell. "Henry, these signs are more important than you think. They can tell us a lot about your long-term health." So, what are these signs? The first one is muscle strength. Studies show that people with stronger muscles after 70 tend to live longer. Why? Because strong muscles aren't just about mobility. They also reflect your overall body health. When muscles weaken, organs like your heart, lungs, and kidneys might be quietly struggling too. The second sign is walking speed. Sounds simple, right? But the truth is, how fast you walk can predict your longevity. People who keep a steady, solid pace usually have a lower risk of chronic conditions like diabetes or heart problems. But here's something even more intriguing. The third sign is in your hands. Yup, that slight shaking when you hold things could be a clue about your neurological health. When our nerves and muscles lose coordination, it might be an early warning of conditions like Parkinson's or even cognitive decline. And guess what else? The fourth sign is your appetite. Losing interest in food or eating less than you used to could point to something bigger, from depression to digestive issues that mess with nutrient absorption. And without enough energy? Well, you can probably guess what that does to your life expectancy. Back to Henry's story. He decided to take action as soon as he grasped how big these signs were. He started doing specific exercises to strengthen his legs, like light squats and daily walks. He also began tracking his diet, making sure he was getting plenty of protein and vitamins. But what really made the difference was his shift in mindset. Instead of brushing off these signs, he saw them as early warnings. He realized every step he took today could mean one more year of life tomorrow. Now, think about this. How many of these signs have you noticed in your own body? Maybe it's time to take a closer look. But hold on, because there's more. The next signs are even more fascinating, and in some cases, totally unexpected. You'd never guess that something as basic as your blood pressure or your ability to take a deep breath could be so crucial in figuring out how many years you've got left. Now, stop for a moment and think about this. What's going on inside your body when no one's looking? You might seem healthy on the outside, but inside, well, the story could be different. And here's the truth that a lot of people ignore. Some of the most important signs for predicting how long you'll live past 70 are invisible to the naked eye. They're clues you can only catch if you're paying attention, or with help from a health professional. But don't worry, because I'm going to show you how to spot these hints before it's too late. Let's go back to Henry. After he started Building up his muscles and tweaking his diet, he noticed something odd. Certain things that used to feel normal in his later years started bothering him more. For instance, he'd get out of breath just climbing one flight of stairs. That's normal, he thought at first. I mean, I'm getting older. But at a doctor's visit, his doc hit him with something big. Henry, you're breathing. Capacity could be a crucial indicator of your life expectancy. Sound like a stretch? It's not. Science shows that people with more efficient lung function tend to live longer. That's because your lungs don't just handle breathing. They're directly tied to your heart health and blood circulation too. But let's dig deeper. There's another invisible sign most folks overlook: your blood pressure. Yup, that quick check at the doctor's office can say a lot about what's ahead. When your pressure's consistently high, it's a warning that your blood vessels are overworked, upping your risk of heart attacks or strokes. Henry decided to keep tabs on his pressure at home. He got a simple monitor and started jotting down the numbers. At first, they were a bit above normal, but with small changes, like cutting back on salt and doing light exercise, he got them under control. Another key point is the fifth sign: your blood sugar levels. For a lot of older folks, diabetes or prediabetes flies under the radar until it's too late. Henry found out his sugar levels were slightly high during a routine test. This can affect everything, his doctor explained, from your daily energy to your immune system and longevity. So Henry tweaked his diet again, ditching processed foods and adding more fiber, like oatmeal and veggies. That simple. Switch made a huge difference in how he felt day to day. But here's something even more shocking. The sixth sign is in your mouth. Yup, you read that right. Your oral health is a straight-up reflection of your overall health. Studies show that people with gum disease or tooth loss are more likely to develop heart disease or even Alzheimer's. Why? Because bacteria from your mouth can slip into your bloodstream and cause inflammation in other organs. Henry noticed his teeth were getting sensitive and his gums bled now and then. He booked a dentist appointment right away and stepped up his oral hygiene game. It's not just about a nice smile, he thought. It's about living longer and better. And here's another powerful lesson. All these invisible signs are connected. A blood pressure issue can mess with your kidneys. A drop in lung function can strain your heart, and so on. It's like a web where every strand holds up the next. When Henry started seeing this interconnection, he realized taking care of himself wasn't just about fixing random symptoms, it was about creating full-on balance in his body. Now, picture this. You get a simple checkup and find out your pressure's in check. Your glucose levels are normal, and your lungs are working great. How would that shift your outlook on the future? Maybe you'd start feeling more confident, more ready to make the most of the years ahead. But hold on, because there's still one final sign that could change the whole game when it comes to longevity. And this one's got nothing to do with tests or medical diagnoses. It's between your ears. Now, answer me this. What do you think has the biggest impact on your longevity? Your heart? Your lungs? Or maybe your mind? Here's something that'll blow you away. Recent studies show that the seventh and most important sign for predicting how many years you've got left after 70 isn't in your body, it's in your brain. That's right. Your mental health might just be the deciding factor between aging with quality or just existing in your later years. And it's not only about memory or intelligence, it's about how you face life. Let's go back to Henry. After tweaking his diet, boosting his muscle strength, and tackling his invisible physical health signs, he realized something was still off. He felt, well, kind of aimless. I exercise, eat right, go to bed early, he thought to himself. So why do I still feel this emptiness sometimes? Then a close friend said something that changed everything. Henry, have you ever stopped to think about what motivates you to get up every day? That question hit deep. Henry realized that since retiring, he'd lost some of the routine and purpose that used to drive his life. Here's the shocking truth. People who keep a positive, active, purpose-driven mindset live, on average, 7 years longer than those who feel lost or unmotivated. Why? Because our brain controls everything, from our emotions to our ability to bounce back after an illness. When we're mentally engaged, our body responds positively, releasing hormones that cut stress and boost the immune system. But when we're isolated or directionless, our body starts to slow down, raising the risk of chronic diseases and even depression. But let's go further. There's a powerful technique called cognitive resilience, and it can be your best ally at this stage of life. Cognitive resilience means training your brain to handle challenges and changes without an emotional meltdown. How? Simple. By building habits that stimulate your mind. Henry started doing small daily exercises like solving crossword puzzles, learning basic phrases in a new language, or even picking up a musical instrument he'd stashed away years ago. These activities might seem small, but they create new neural connections, strengthening your brain against cognitive decline. Another key piece is keeping meaningful relationships. Henry noticed that over the years, he'd drifted from some close friends. So, he took action. He started scheduling regular meetups with old buddies, joined a local book club, and even began volunteering in his community. When you connect with other people, he realized, you feel alive. And guess what else? Studies show that older adults with a strong social network have a lower risk of diseases like Alzheimer's and even live longer. But here's something few people know. Gratitude is also a powerful predictor of longevity. People who practice daily gratitude, whether by keeping a journal, thanking for small wins, or just reflecting on the good in their lives, tend to be more resilient emotionally and physically. Henry picked up this habit. Every night before bed, he'd write down 3 things he was grateful for that day. Sometimes it was simple stuff like a tasty breakfast or my grandson's smile. But those gratitude moments started shifting his outlook, filling him with energy and optimism. And now, picture this. Every positive thought, every social connection, every moment of learning is literally adding time to your life. But hold on, because there's something even bigger going on here. When you combine all these signs, from muscle strength to mental health, you're not just predicting how long you'll live. You're writing your own story of healthy aging. And the good news? It's never too late to start. Now, let me ask you a question that could change everything. Have you ever stopped to think that every decision you make today, from what you eat for breakfast to how you spend your afternoons, is writing the next chapters of your life? Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But here's the undeniable truth. Your lifestyle is the biggest factor in determining how many years you'll live past 70, and, even more importantly, how you'll live those years. And this isn't just about luck or genetics. It's about the daily choices you make. Let's go back to Henry. After tuning up his physical and mental health, he started noticing something fascinating. His little habits, ones that used to seem unimportant, were sparking big changes in his quality of life. He realized that swapping white bread for whole grains kept his energy up longer throughout the day. Adding a short walk after meals noticeably improved his digestion. Even the simple act of going to bed at the same time every night started making a huge difference in how he felt when he woke up. These habits are like little bricks, he thought. Each one seems small, but together they build a solid foundation for the future. But let's talk about something you might not have considered: the quality of your sleep. Yup, those hours you spend checked out could be the secret to living longer and better. Studies show that older adults who get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night have a lower risk of chronic diseases and a higher life expectancy. Why? Because sleep is when your body does crucial repairs, from cell regeneration to clearing toxins out of your brain. Henry noticed his afternoon naps were sometimes messing with his nighttime sleep. So he swapped them for relaxation time, like meditation or light reading. The result? Deeper nights and more productive days. Another essential piece is physical activity. But here's a key detail. We're not talking about hitting the gym like an athlete or running marathons. We're talking consistent movement. Walking, dancing, practicing Tai Chi, or even gardening can be enough to keep your body functional and healthy. Henry found that tending his garden wasn't just fun, it was exercise. He was strengthening muscles, improving balance, and bonus, cutting stress. Who knew pulling weeds could be so good for me, he thought with a grin. But here's something a lot of people overlook: the role of modern society in our longevity. We live in a world full of conveniences, fast food, cars, elevators, that, ironically, make us more sedentary and less healthy. Henry realized he'd become a victim of these conveniences over the years. So he switched things up. He started walking to the local market instead of driving, took the stairs instead of the elevator, and even chose to cook his own meals instead of ordering takeout. Those simple shifts began transforming not just his physical health, but his self-esteem too. And here's another powerful lesson: the importance of emotional control. When we get stuck in stress or worry, our body goes into constant alert mode, releasing hormones like cortisol that, over time, can cause inflammation and premature aging. Henry learned to practice deep breathing and mindfulness techniques to manage his emotions. He found that taking a deep breath before making decisions, or just pausing to soak in the present moment, helped him dodge impulsive reactions that used to leave him anxious or frustrated. Now, picture this. Every choice you make, eating well, moving more, or tending to your mind, is literally reprogramming your body to age healthier. But hold on, because there's one final piece to this puzzle. How does it all tie together to create a full, meaningful life after 70? Now, picture this. You wake up in the morning with energy. Feel your muscles strong as you walk, your mind sharp as you tackle simple problems, and above all, a sense of purpose that drives you to make the most of every moment. Sounds like a dream? It's not. This is the reality you can create for yourself after 70. And it all starts with a simple yet powerful formula: pulling together all the pieces we've talked about so far and turning them into daily habits. Yup, the secret to living longer and better lies in how you weave these signs into your everyday life. Let's go back to Henry. After months of applying changes to his routine, he realized something incredible. He wasn't just living longer, he was living with quality. He'd start his days with a light walk outside, soaking in the sound of birds and the fresh breeze. That half hour makes all the difference, he'd think to himself. Back home, he'd whip up a nutritious breakfast packed with whole foods and antioxidants. During the day, He'd dive into stuff he loved, tending the garden, picking up new skills like playing guitar, or doing guided meditation. At night, before bed, he'd reflect on his day and jot down his gratitudes. This isn't just a routine, he realized. It's a way of living. But here's the big insight. This goes beyond just living longer. It's about creating a life worth living. Studies show that people who keep an active lifestyle, an engaged mind, and meaningful relationships don't just live longer. They also report higher satisfaction with their lives. And you know what's even cooler? This kind of life doesn't demand extreme sacrifices or radical overhauls. It's small daily choices that, when combined, deliver big results. Take the impact of a simple meal, for example. When Henry swapped ultra-processed foods for natural, nutrient-rich options, he didn't just strengthen his body, he boosted his mental energy too. Or think about the power of a meaningful conversation. When he started scheduling regular hangouts with friends or family, he noticed his sense of isolation dropped big time, leaving him more upbeat and motivated. Even tiny gratitude moments like thanking for a warm cup of tea or a grandkid's smile began rewiring his brain to focus on the positive, cutting stress and building emotional resilience. But here's something you might not have clocked yet. This isn't just about you. When you adopt healthy habits and live with purpose, you inspire everyone around you, your kids, grandkids, friends, even strangers. Henry noticed his grandkids, started copying some of his habits, like eating more veggies or spending time outdoors. I didn't know I could be such a strong example, he thought with pride. And that's the beauty of living well. You don't just upgrade your own life, you leave a positive legacy for the next generations. Now, imagine this. You at 80, sitting in a comfy chair, surrounded by people you love, with rich memories and a body that still does what you ask of it. That's not luck. It's the result of conscious choices made today. And here's the final truth. It's never too late to start. Maybe you've ignored some of these signs in the past, but now you know what to do. You've got the roadmap to rewrite your aging story. So, what's your first step gonna be? Will it be tweaking your diet, starting a daily walk, or just taking 5 minutes to practice gratitude? Remember, every little change counts, and together they build something incredible. Are you ready to take control of your longevity and live a full life packed with health and meaning? The future's in your hands, and it starts now. If you want to live longer and better past 70, take that first step today. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our videos with practical tips for aging healthy. Comment below. What change are you making today to transform your life? Hit the bell to get notified about new content. Share this video with someone who needs this info. Together, we can inspire more people to live with quality.